Emile Keller was part of an intellectual movement that was active in Europe in the late 19th century. It still has influence today over social, political, economic thought, especially in Roman Catholic circles. In order to understand this loose intellectual movement, I'd like to talk about a document called Rerum Novarum. Okay. So to understand Rerum Novarum, we have to think of the context. It's late 19th century. The Industrial Revolution is in full swing both in Europe and in America, right? Perhaps especially Britain, but also Europe and America. As part of this, we see a rush of people from the country to the cities. We see economic expansion, but we also see a lot of poverty and a lot of pollution. Okay. Conditions are not good for the workers in these factories, okay, and wages are low. Moreover, the new factories are putting a lot of traditional trades out of business. The textile mills could produce clothing much cheaper than the traditional small artisans on their hand looms or whatever other things they were using. Okay. So a lot of small businesses small businesses, craftsmen, etc., are going out of business. Now, at this point, the Pope comes out with what's called an encyclical. Okay, an encyclical literally means it's sent around. Okay, so it's a document he's sent around. Most Catholics that are educated and involved in things are supposed to pay attention to it. Right? It's not absolutely binding, right? But it's considered important and somewhat authoritative. And a lot of people thought, old established institution, deep ties with the monarchy, ties with the aristocracy. Okay, it's the time of the Papal States when the Pope was the ruler of more than just a few, half an acre in a few acres in the Vatican. And then the Pope surprised a lot of people by coming down more or less on the side of labor and saying, no, people are being mistreated. Okay, people have a right to conditions in which they can live a decent life and have some kind of advancement for themselves and their family. And we ought to have a somewhat widespread distribution of property. Having all wealth and power concentrated in a few hands is bad for society. Now that's exercised an influence over Catholic social thought down to this day. You'll see echoes of it in the statements by John Paul, by Benedict, and by Francis. So Keller was instrumental in spreading some of the ideas associated with Rerum Novarum. To some extent, he was involved in clearing up some misconceptions about it and responding to objections, but also trying to spread the ideas and find practical ways to put them in practice. Okay, so find ways to not just have theoretical critiques of what was going on, but practical solutions.